JD from Hardcore Recovery Coaching. This is Skits from Shot Out After Dark, and Mike Kelly from Never Give Up, Always Give Back. Personally, the reason that I'm sitting here right now is because about 3 years ago, the Secret Service blessed me with the desperation to actually surrender and give myself to a program. I went to a place that all three of us have been to called Solutions by the Sea here in Daytona Beach, where I learned what the 12 steps were about, what life skills were about, what spiritual principles were about. Since then, I interned and became a manager there. I interned and became a manager at the intensive outpatient that I'm a graduate from, Break the Cycle, a certified recovery coach. I am a trained through DCF, peer support specialist, and I'm also a nationally certified smart recovery facilitator. Skids? Fuck.
All right, well, basically the end of my last experience out there was ODing on the floor with everybody robbing me. And if it wasn't for one person going to my pockets to grab my phone only to call for an ambulance, I'd be dead right now. And that's led me back to Solutions again, where they took me back in again after I left, flipping the bird, cursing them out. I'm not paying no fees, all that stuff. When the first thing I want to do is sign those papers for a bed in the first place. Long story short, Solutions helped save my life. The program helped save my life. And I'm really grateful to be here right now.
Mike from Never Give Up. I too was blessed like JD. I woke up in a truck surrounded by the sheriff's department. I didn't have the ability to stop using. I had to be forced to stop using. I too went through Solutions by the Sea. I'm a graduate of Solutions by the Sea, an alumni of Solutions by the Sea. I work for Solutions by the Sea as a manager there. I also am a behavioral health tech and recovery advocate as well. And I too work for Break the Cycle now, facilitating groups for them.
What's your favorite part of recovery?
Favorite part of recovery is my life, that I get to live today and do what I get to do because of recovery. What about you?
Mine is trying to make videos with my friends.
I thought you had your fucking hand on his knee.
It was, you called me out.
There's a whole lot of knee down here for you guys.
There's a lot you're not seeing below the camera.
Yes, chest.
Keep doing it.
Okay, what is your favorite part of recovery?
The fuck, you're sick fuck, bro.
Hey, so my favorite part of recovery is honestly, bro, it's just my connection with my higher power, my connection with my higher self, and feeling comfortable in my own fucking skin without having to put something in myself to feel okay.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like when I always say this, when we used to laugh when we were kids before we corrupted ourselves. When we used to laugh and we didn't need anything in our systems. That's exactly what I get back to. When I get back to that innocence. When I go to Solutions, I love it. I go and hang out at the porch of Solutions, and I don't have to be there. Then I know, JD, you go there all the time too, and what I'm getting at is I go there because there's people there I can just sit with. I don't feel like a freak. We laugh our asses off with our demented type of thinking, and I feel normal, It's like a bunch of black sheeps, as they see. You ever saw that meme? A bunch of black sheeps in a room? That's pretty much us.
The biggest gift of recovery. I can remember early on the gifts that I got. The first fucking gift I thought I got was this fucking beach cruiser I built and put 36-inch apes on it, right? That was the biggest gift that I had in sobriety. At that time where I was at in my sobriety, if you asked me, that's what I would have fucking told you. Then it went from there to a fucking beat up scooter, to a piece of shit truck, to all this now, to having a great girlfriend, all this other shit. But really today, years later, that's not the greatest gift that I see. But it shows me that where you're at in your recovery is where you're at and you're thinking, right? I don't feel that way today. The greatest gift I have is me. It's me. You can take all that shit from me today and I still have me today. Would it piss me off and would it hurt and I lost them all? Yeah. But I'd still have me today. And that's definitely the greatest gift that I've gotten from being sober.
I can totally remember when I came in.
What was your first thing?
I had nothing. No, I like what you said about the bike, because that's exactly me too. And it's funny how my higher power works, because when I came in and I got the bike that they gave me, that I was given, they called it the Caddy, because it looked like a Cadillac, the way the wheels looked and everything. And I remember being so happy having that beach cruiser. I had a beach cruiser too. And I remember when I went to the store, I saved up to get the $18 or whatever it cost to get that bike lock. I remember being so happy having a bike lock for my bike. So I could park it anywhere I want. I just remember every day was a journey. I got to listen to some music as I'm going across the road, going to different meetings, getting to work. And I just remember how grateful I felt for that. And I try to keep that gratefulness, with everything.
I remember feeling how unfucking grateful I was when JD fucking pulled in with a fucking $1,000 fucking beach cruiser with tires this fucking wide on it, electric, all this other shit. And my now fucking beach cruiser that I spent a year building was shit in the parking lot because JD came in with this sick thing. Then somebody stole this shit and I was happy. They got his shit, they didn't get mine.
Didn't I buy that beach cruiser from you?
Which one? Oh yeah, that one. But then he had the cool.
To finish off what I was saying though is at the end, I thought I was just going to get an A to B car, and I literally thought that in my mind. But I ended up getting a Cadillac because of a very good deal. Like it's not because just the way everything panned out was just. I didn't have to do much to acquire this, and it's a blessing. And it's just funny how I started off with a Cadillac and now I'm back with a Cadillac 2 years later, it was 2 years later when I got it. So I don't know, it's pretty cool how things work out if you just keep doing what you're doing and stay grateful as you're doing it, So yeah.
How do you feel about your beach cruiser getting stolen? And I just brought
Now let's keep it
Bro,
bringing.
I remember you wanted to kill
Here's the thing, and the thing that bothered me is it was the last time that I saw my brother before he overdosed.
That's what it was.
That he gave that to me.
I know.
And
I knew
it took me a little bit of time to reconcile with that because
I remember
that was my brother. But you know what
who
happened?
stole it or something.
I got her address.
She was on a video all cracked out or something.
I got her address, but like, what good is it going to come of me to go to North Street and kick in a crack house door?
To get it.
Like, it's not. There's no good that's going to come of that. But what I got shortly after that helped me reconcile and get peace, and was a huge blessing from God. Is one of my friends reached out to me and said, "Hey, I have some of your brother's ashes."
Yeah.
And so I have some of his ashes now, and that to me is really meaningful, and it's okay because God's blessed me in a lot of other ways. Like the main blessing that I got like early on, the thing that I wanted that God cleared the way for, like, and I could talk for hours about how many miracles, minor miracles to major miracles it took for me to get what I wanted and what I got, and it was a huge blessing. But for me, it was fucking house arrest, bro. Like it was not going to prison for 18 or 20 years. Having the blessing to be on community control and continue to work in my community, continue to be with my now wife and my son.
Building's burning.
Yeah, I was like, what was that?
Fucking asshole.
My hot pockets are done. No, and real quick though, I didn't even know that about you, and I'm sorry.
What, the bike? I knew it was,
About his brother. I mean, not saying forget the bike, man.
If you didn't see the
But I didn't know that
video
about
of the
his brother.
crackhead,
And I'm sorry I had to go.
Remember that
sorry.
video of the chick?
But you know
Yeah.
what? Like she's sick, bro, and I've done
She
shit
was.
when I was sick
Yeah.
that probably hurt people way more than that hurt me.
Yeah.
And so like that's the golf cart.
Oh, it's
That's
a golf cart.
Whatever comes my way, I sort of just chalk up to karma most of the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I've been sick and I've hurt people in my sickness. So like when people hurt me, I try not to react out of anger, but I try to react out of understanding. And sometimes I fail at it because I'm still human and I'm still fucked up, bro. But more often than not, I'm able to get myself under control,
No, but
I haven't hit anybody in like 3 years, dog.
That's
I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, that's a great way of thinking, though, and I mean, I wish more people thought like that because it's the truth. You're being a man of understanding, and trying to understand your fellow man. We're not perfect. They're not perfect, and they're spiritually sick. So it's a good way to look at it, man, because most people won't. They will kick down that crap. The old you probably would have, kicked down that door, and you would have been a lot worse. So
I wouldn't even be
here,
blazing,
maybe.
bro.
God, yeah.
Listen, I almost wasn't fucking here. I don't know if you were there. Remember this shit? I got in some shit with some kids that lived at Solutions, and the fucking people came back and threw a brick through the windshield of a car during our unity meeting, looking for me to kill me. And the other kid whose car it was, so they kicked us out. At the end of Unity, they threw us out. And I sat in the fucking parking lot and said, damn, man, I'm never gonna fucking change. I'm always gonna be this fucking tough guy bullshit. I'm just not gonna get this shit. This shit ain't for me. And the kid I was with, God rest his soul, he passed away. He left the property that night. Carl, and then let me stay. And said, if you're willing to take a chance, and we'll take a chance on you if you're willing to change your life. And I did. From that moment on, the next day I got my sponsor, Nick Dawes, and I began to work the steps. But, you know, it was just being put in that position that I was in, and being around those people I was in, that fucking pride and all that shit. Next thing I know, I'm on probation facing 5 years in prison, and I'm fucking around with somebody, and then police contact, all this shit, almost violated. So that was another gift. I mean, there's been a lot of gifts in recovery that happened to me, blessings.
I want to touch on that real quick, bro, because it's like, it's the hardest part for me was that surrender.
Yeah.
Surrendering, letting go, because surrender is, and especially with like the toxic male culture that we have, like that's really prominent, like surrendering is interpreted a lot of the time, or misinterpreted a lot of the time, as giving up.
Yeah.
But it's really not. There's beauty in surrender. There's strength in surrender. And so, like, from what I've seen from all the studying and research that I've done, so within the first few months of life, we learn certain lessons. And one of the most important lessons that we learn in our subconscious mind as an infant is the world safe? Is it a safe place for me, or is the world not a safe place for me? So we end up with, if the world is not a safe place for us, it reinforces this fight or flight sort of instinct mentality. On top of that, you compound that with trauma, and addiction is a very trauma-based disease, bro. Like, there's so much correlation between trauma and substance use disorder that it's not even funny. So you compound that instinctual knowledge that the world is not a safe place for me with trauma, which just reinforces it, and it reinforces that fight or flight. Surrender is like the opposite of fight or flight, bro.
Yeah.
You know, like, we have that urge inside us that's instinctual, that's almost like just so deeply ingrained, it's almost impossible to let go of, to never run, or to never fight, but to run. You know, like, whichever direction we take it as a human being, that becomes our go-to. It's our reflex, and we have to rewire the neural pathways in our brain to be able to actually surrender. And it's a neurological level, and it's a spiritual and emotional and mental level as well, that you have to surrender to be able to get it. And that's why we see so many guys who come in and they have that, but it doesn't work. Like, they're desperate enough to come in, but they're not desperate enough to fully let go. And that's why we don't give up on them, because at some point you hit a bottom. That never give up part, exactly. At some point you hit a fucking bottom hard enough that you actually get it, and you're actually willing to fully surrender and submit, and that's where the beauty and the magic starts to happen.
The fucking surrender to win, it's fucking animal instinct, that fight or flight shit. It's reality, it's ingrained in everyone. But the fight part, everyone gets that part, but the surrender to win part was like, what the fuck, that's foreign to me. But it just means that I get a chance to fight again and stay in the fucking battle for me today when I look at it like that, you know? It's not just a giving up, because I always say, never give up. Don't give up the fight, but make sure that you can still be in the motherfucker. Don't take yourself out of it. You know, that fight or flight, when you fight, when I heard that, I thought, just get the fuck out of there and get away from it. It's not that. It's stopping that, pausing, and taking a look at where the fuck you're at, arming yourself with the truth and doing what you gotta do to change the situation that you're in. And that don't mean you gotta fight. And that don't mean you gotta run away from a problem either. It just means you need to back the fuck up and take a real look at what the fuck you're trying to do with life. And it's hard for people in early recovery.
No, that's some good stuff. I remember this time around, it was about 30 days in. I was in my head. I was fighting the whole time I've been in there. First thing when I came in, Tobias told me, he's like, relax. This time, just relax.
Yeah.
Of course I didn't relax. The first thing I did was clean the whole house. Everything had to be clean. I was driving my roommates crazy with my OCD, and I was just driving them nuts, and I was fighting every single step of the way. And then for some reason, after about 30 days, this is the first time it's ever happened, I had it in me, and it clicked to stop and chill and let go and surrender and just chill. And that must have been the first time I've ever felt an actual surrender, and I just let go. And I was done. I was done with fighting. I had to let go and let someone else take control. Yeah. And from there, I'm not saying after that was, piece of cake. It definitely wasn't, but it was the first time I actually started to veer off into another direction of my thinking and in how I portray things, perceive things, and how I attack things. And, I got to do it with you know, an open heart, an open mind, and then just try to respond with love instead of react with hate. You know, and I don't have control. And the more I learn that, or the more I understand that, the better my, you know, the easier it has been for me. So surrender's a big thing.
Powerless. You know, the first step in recovery, before you get the fucking sponsor, before you get to go through any kind of step work and begin to change in your life, you know what it is, right? The conceding to our innermost self of who we really are. You know, we need to identify what and who we really are. If we got that flight in us and don't want to face a lot of shit, because I never wanted to face shit in life. I fled in that way, or put up so much of the fucking defensive wall that I kept people the fuck away, so I didn't have to deal with shit, right? But conceding to my innermost self of who and what I really am, an alcoholic and a drug addict that has a problem that there is a solution for. So that's the first step in recovery, that conceding to your innermost self if you're an alcoholic or an addict, or whatever the fuck the problem is. Concede your innermost self to fucking arm yourself with the truth of what the fuck is going on so we can face shit and make the changes necessary. That was huge for me, that first step. And the powerlessness, man, I knew I was fucking powerless. First time I smoked crack, I didn't ever want to fucking stop, you know? And that's just the reality of my shit.
That's true.
In my story. The unmanageable part, I thought was a whole different fucking thing. I thought it was the fucking wife wanted to leave me, the club didn't want me no more, I wound up in fucking jail, the fucking boss was tired of me robbing him. That was all the fucking shit that were consequences from me living an unmanageable life, right? I thought that's what unmanageability meant, that my life was unmanageable. Those were all the consequences that came along with me not having a higher power, me trying to control the whole show, me taking over everything. It always happened to be my way or the highway, even knowing if it would fuck me up or not, I still had to be my way. That white knuckle fucking shit. I'll fix this, I'll change everything, and I'll die fucking trying. That's that surrender part. Where now I do have a higher power that helps guides me through fucking life, so my life isn't unmanageable anymore. I can turn shit over to them and get the help that I need to make it through the ups and downs of life. And you can both know the ups and downs that I went through this last year were fucking horrifying. There's no way I could have been able to stay sober without having that higher power to keep my life manageable. Because if not, left to my own devices, I'm fucking all over the fucking place.
That's true. Well, guys, I want to say thank you for watching. I'm Schizo Skits from Shot Out After Dark.
I'm JD, Hardcore Recovery Coaching, and this is
Mike would never give up.
My hot pockets are done.